Sawadee Krap. My name is Prateek Kumar and I'm the Regional Vice President Operations for the EMEA region for Dusit International, and at the same time I'm also the General Manager of Dusit Thani in Dubai. So in my role I look after the hotel here, Dusit Thani in Dubai, plus the hotels that are operational within the region, and I also help with the development of new properties. Well, talking about emotional triggers, you see, as my job involves a lot of work of different natures, and obviously there's a lot of conflicts, there's a lot of challenges, there's a lot of new things. So things can get emotional at times, you know. And even personally as well, I'm a very emotional person, you know, because I'm very passionate about what I do. But when it comes to work, my key emotional triggers or key things that trigger my emotions would be not having my expectations met. So whenever if my expectations are not met, things don't go according to what was expected by me, to the standards, that triggers me emotionally. The other thing that that I also get triggered by is probably incompetence, especially when you trust somebody with a job, and if they show some incompetence in that, that also triggers me emotionally. And inconsistency, because we are in the customer service business, right? And it's all about consistently delivering and exceeding. That triggers me emotionally as well. And what happens when I get emotionally triggered is I will then start to put pressure on other people, a good kind of pressure, a positive pressure, to ensure that they are able to meet expectations, not only my expectations, but the expectations of the project that is at hand, or the expectations of our customers, or our client needs, or you know, several other examples like that. Similar thing when it comes to if somebody is not showing competence in a particular thing, I try to coach them, I try to guide them, some positive pressure on them so that they are able to perform and not only meet, sometimes exceed expectations as well. And I see that works very well in developing people over the time, because they get better and better at it. If you ask me personally how I deal with my emotional triggers, especially when things irritate me a little bit, you know, when things are inconsistent, when the results are not to my liking, I try to take a deep breath. I use a lot of breathing techniques, breathing exercises, slow down a little bit, you know. And I also practice mindfulness, you know, as well as yoga whenever I get time to. I've been trying to work with meditation, but I've never been very good at it. I can't clear thoughts from my brain. I don't think that's my personality. But breathing techniques and yoga help me a lot in calming my emotionally triggered state, if you like it. Conflicts, that's my favorite subject. Yeah? I don't take conflict as conflict itself. I take conflicts like complaints, because we are in customer service industry, in the hotel business, and we are dealing with customer complaints all the time. Now, we don't have conflicts with the customer. We only have complaints from them, and then we try our best to meet their expectations. I take conflicts in a similar manner as well. The only difference is that conflict is with colleagues or with peers. So my take on conflict is using the conflict to build better bonds among the teams and build better relationships. Because in my career as a hotelier, I've created some of my best relationships with the customers who came and complained for the first time, and now they're lifetime friends. And it's the same thing in conflict as well. The way I handle conflict is to make sure that we come up with win-win outcomes. That is one of the key goals. And channel the negative energy that creates a conflict. Use that same energy to turn it into a positive energy. That's very important, because when there is a conflict, if I can manage that and channel that in a positive direction, we're going to create win-win solutions. And the best part is that the teams that were in conflict suddenly become the best friends and the most cooperative teams. I'll give you a recent example. It's happened all the time. I've got several examples, but I'll give you a recent example. We were working on a project, and we got a team together of very talented, motivated, dynamic, highly charged individuals, right? And all of these guys wanted to perform. and they all wanted to shine. But the problem was they wanted to outshine each other. And when you're trying to outshine each other, and there's a lot of talented people involved in a group, it creates conflict. So it ended up with conflict. And all that energy, which was supposed to be channeled positively, went in a negative manner. So I do what I usually do. I get the whole team together. I bring them, put them in a room. And I've been doing it over the years, but something that I learned recently in one of the workshops, get them together and use the 3 A's. Acknowledge, appreciate, and apologize. So first of all, we need to sit down and we need to acknowledge that there is a conflict. We need to open up and start appreciating what they've done for the others and what the others have done for them. So all of a sudden, instead of looking at it in a manner of a conflict, they start to look at it in terms of collaboration. And that's all I need to manage a conflict. When it moves from competition to collaboration, the negative energy becomes into positive energy. Now, the last part, which is to apologize, and that's where we get the team members or the parts of the team to apologize for what they think may have hurt the others based on their feedback or maybe based on their personal observations. And by the end of this session, which took us about half an hour, 40 minutes, all of a sudden we had this team that was bonded together, but towards collaboration. The project has recently finished and it's been a spectacular success. So I think that's one of the examples how we handle conflicts in our day-to-day lives.